Hi, I'm Tanya Brownlee with the City of Wichita Environmental Health Department.
And my name is Philip Zievenbergen. I'm with Wichita Transit.
And today we're going to talk to you a little bit about why we want to catch a ride for cleaner air. The City of Wichita is putting together a great program with the help of the Wichita Area Metropolitan Planning Organization to give you some free rides during Free Fares Week and on Ozone Alert Days. So here's a little bit of information about riding the bus and why we want to ride the bus during these free weeks and then also throughout the year. Ozone is an air pollutant that the City of Wichita is very concerned about right now. We're just about to go over our limits for ozone. The federal government puts on limits for ozone to keep us healthy, and we're close to exceeding those limits. So to keep ourselves a healthy community and to bring our ozone levels down, we're talking about riding the bus and driving in our cars less. Ozone forms when the nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds combine with heat and sunlight, and that creates ozone. So anything we can do to reduce that NOx and VOC emission is going to reduce our ozone level. That green bar on that graph shows the on-road emissions. Those are all the cars and trucks we drive to and from work and on errands. And the NOx emissions that cause ozone, mostly in our area, comes from the cars we drive every day. What happens if we go over our ozone limits? It's called going out of attainment, and it could cost our community in economic development. It could cost us each individually more at the fuel pump. It could cost more to our health and to our energy bills. Things that we can do every day to reduce ozone-forming emissions is to fuel and mow when it's cool. Turn off that car when you're parked so you don't idle the car for more than 30 seconds. Stop fueling at the click. When you hear that click while you're fueling up your car, stop and don't overfill your tank. Reduce the number of miles you drive, and that can include biking or riding the bus to work. On Ozone Alert Days, we've started a program where you can ride the bus for free on Ozone Alert Days. So stay tuned and listen for those through the media, on social media, or sign up for Ozone Alerts, and you'll find out when those free Ozone Alert Days are. On Ozone Alert Days, we also ask you to avoid fueling, avoid mowing the lawn, and try not to use paints or solvents that day. As I said, riding the bus is a great way to reduce ozone-forming emissions, and Philip's going to talk to those first-time riders about how to ride the bus.
Thank you, Tanya. As she said, for those first-time riders, it is a little intimidating if you've never ridden the bus before. You don't know where to stand, you don't know where to catch the bus, you don't know how to pay a fare. It's going to keep you in your car. Well, I'm here today to tell you a little bit about kind of the basics of riding the bus for those of you first-time riders. As this map behind me shows, is the Wichita bus system. It encompasses 16 routes, 14 of which operate on a pulse system downtown at the transit center, which means they meet up at the same time so that you can transfer between routes and not have to wait for long periods of time for the next bus to show up. Two of them, one on the east side and one on the west side, go north and south to provide you connections so you don't have to go downtown all the time to transfer. First thing you need to know about riding a bus is how to read a bus schedule. There are different components of a bus schedule that I'm going to go through that will let you know what you're seeing when you see one. First of all, you have the route number and the name. This example that we have here is the number 10 West Central. Below that are the destinations that are served by this route. It's not an exhaustive list. It's just kind of the major players along that route. It's red from top to bottom as you're going from downtown out to the end of the route. Next pane over is the route map. It shows the streets that route operates on, as well as has a legend as to where the transit center is, what major destinations are, where that route transfers to, and which route it transfers to as well. The third pane is just an informational panel about the fare structure, how much does it cost to ride the bus, different passes that are available, and how much those passes cost. The final pane on the outside is another informational panel just about Wichita Transit itself. You can see the phone number there that you can call Monday through Friday during business hours and talk to our secretary. Has a lot of information as to which route can take you to certain destinations throughout the city. After hours, there's an automated system that can give you up-to-date route information. At the top, you can find a link to our real-time bus locator, which will take you to wichitatransit.org, and you can click on the link there and find out real-time information about where your bus is, if it's late or on time, and when it's going to be at your next stop. The inside of a bus schedule basically just has your time point information. Again, at the top you have the number of the route and the name of it. Again, the number 10 West Central. Below that you have the Monday through Friday schedule. Below that you have the Saturday schedule. And then at the bottom, it tells you which routes it transfers to and at what times, as well as how to transfer using your fare cards. The first thing you need to know about the system is because we have a transit center downtown, we have two different types of directions. We have outbound and then there's inbound. Outbound means that that bus is traveling from the transit center out to the end of the route. So if you're out on the street waiting to catch a bus and a bus is coming down and it says outbound on the head side, you know that it's going away from the transit center. On the flip side, we have the inbound bus, which means that bus is heading back towards the transit center so that you can distinguish which bus you need to take based on what destination you need to get to. When you're looking at the schedule, and I just have an example of here at the top, you look at these things called time points. And all that is it references a number to the map. And basically what that tells you is that that bus is going to be at that specific location at that time. So there on the number 1, it'll be there at 8:25. It is not allowed to leave that number 1 spot before 8:25. Again, this allows you to have that reference point of when you can catch the bus. At number 2, it'll get to the second point at 8:34. So if you're in the middle where that red dot is and you need to know when the bus is going to be there, your best bet is to stand at that spot at the previous time point time, so in this case 8:25, knowing that you won't miss the bus at that point. The other question people ask is they look at the schedule and they want to know, will the bus pick me up in between these time points, or do I have to walk all the way to one of those time points to be picked up? Our bus system right now, any available corner is able to be picked up at. There's just 2 conditions. You can't be in a turn lane because then the bus obviously is not turning and it is unsafe for them to stop, or a construction zone. So if you find yourself in either one of those, just go to the next corner up the street and the bus drivers are instructed to pick you up there. There will be more on that later on how I tell you how to specifically catch the bus. The first step in catching the bus, again, is to make sure you're at a proper corner. Again, some of them have signs, benches, or shelters. We do have some, however, that do not have signs, and that's why we have the map to tell you which streets the bus is on. So if you're on that street and you're on a corner of that street, you're available to be picked up by the bus. The second step to catch the bus is as the bus approaches, to approach the curb, but obviously stay back from the street. As it gets closer, kind of put your arm up to hail the bus driver to let him know that you want to ride the bus, and he'll pull over in a safe place and let you board the bus. The third step is wait for the bus to come to a complete stop. The driver will open the doors. Please allow passengers to exit the bus first, and then you can board the bus and pay your fare. When it comes to paying your fare, there are 2 different options. You can pay by cash or by a fare card. If you're paying with cash, we ask you to use exact change, which is $1.75 for a single ride, and if you need to transfer and take another bus to another location, it's an additional 25 cents for a total of $2. What you can do is you can put the cash in the bills collector and then drop coins into the coin collector below that. If you have more than the exact change, you can ask the bus driver for a fare or change card, and he will issue to that. There are no refunds on the change cards, but they can be used for future fares. If you have a fare card, at the top of the fare box there's a slot. You just slip your fare card back in, it goes down and reads it and pops it right back out. Depending on the fare card you have, it may come back and say that it's expired for your next ride, or if you have a multiple ride card, it'll pop back up and you want to make sure and take that with you because it has more rides available on it. What you need to do is when you pop it in, make sure the magnetic strip is facing away from you and towards the drivers, and then it will read properly. When you're riding the bus and you're looking to get off of it, what you need to know is that you need to let the driver know about a block away from your destination. And the way you do that is along each side of the bus, there's a yellow cord along the windows. All you do is simply reach up, give it a little tug, a bell will ring, and the driver will know that you have signaled for a stop. At a safe corner, he'll pull over and let you out. Once the bus has come to a complete stop, all you have to do is walk up towards the exits, and you can either exit out the front or the back. The driver will open both doors. Make sure you use the handrails if you're walking down the steps of the bus, and be sure that if you're planning on crossing the street, make sure the bus drives away first before you safely cross the street to avoid any bus pedestrian accidents. So if you need to use a transfer, that's when you have to use a second bus to get to your location. Most of the transfers happen at the downtown transit center. When you get on your first bus, you can either pay with cash, $2, and ask the driver for a transfer. He'll push a button on the machine and a transfer card will come up. Make sure you take it with you because that's what you're going to use on your next bus. If your fare card has a transfer built into it, it'll pop back up and a transfer card will come with it and you'll use that for your next bus. A transfer is good for 2 hours or 3 buses. So if you need multiple buses, which you shouldn't, but say you're riding a lot that day, use your first transfer, it pops back up, you take it with you, use it on your next bus, put it back in, it'll pop back up. When your transfer has expired, it will indicate that on your card and will not use it on further buses. Things to know about riding the bus is when you're on the bus, we actually have free Wi-Fi in every single one of our buses. It's actually very strong. People love it. You can use it to check your email on your way to work. You can use it to surf the internet, catch up on social media. Really just provides you an opportunity to relax and enjoy your ride as you're using it to get to work. Other things you know is we have a lot of online tools at our website, which is wichitatransit.org. On the home page, you can go to the Maps and Schedules pull-down menu. It has a list of every single one of our routes. If you click on one of the routes, it'll bring you to a new page that shows you not only the route map, but also the route schedule. There's a link on each one of those that you can click and actually print out your own schedule, just in case you're not stopping by any of the convenient locations that have schedules. Other things on our website, on the home page is the Detours and Delays tab. This is a one-stop shop where you can scroll through and to see if your route has any detours or delays. What may cause this is road construction, road closures of any kind, events that go on, or festivals. Like during Riverfest, we had to detour some buses around the river based on what was going on with the festival that day. Additional is the real-time bus locator. This is actually a pretty sweet piece of technology where on the home page you can click to the right of the real-time bus locator. It brings you to a page, you click on your route, click on the stop you're interested in, and it'll bring up, as you can see, the next 3 buses that are coming by your location, when they're scheduled to arrive, and when it's actually going to arrive. If you click on the red indicator that actually shows where the bus is in real time, it'll tell you if that bus is on time and which direction it is traveling. Finally, if you need to know where to buy passes, we have 4 different locations you can. You can do it at the Downtown Transit Center, which has unlimited passes and multi-ride passes. The Wichita Transit Administration Office has unlimited passes as well as multi-ride passes and single ride. The Express Office at City Hall has multi-ride passes, and any Wichita Dillon's location sells multi-ride passes as well. And with that, I'll pass it back over to Tanya, and she'll remind you why it's important to ride the bus.
All right, thanks, Philip. Just one more chance to reiterate to you that riding the bus is really important to keep the number of cars off the road. Summer is the perfect time to ride the bus. It's warm outside. Any driving we do can put out NOx and VOCs that can form ozone. So we're trying to get people out of their cars and onto the bus for cleaner air. And don't forget to catch a ride during Free Fares Week, July 14th through the 19th. And pay attention to your local news and social media to find out when Ozone Alerts days are happening, and you can ride the bus for free on those days too. Don't forget to take your cell phone on the bus and take a selfie, and you could be entered to win a $50 gift card. For more information about air quality and ozone, visit wichita.gov/ozone.
And for more information and tips on how to ride the bus, our routes and schedules, you can visit wichitatransit.org. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you on the bus.